West Ham going down with a European Cup. Is it just me that likes that chant or not? Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. You join us for the match preview of West Ham versus Aston Villa, where the Hammers return to East London in a game that is absolutely must win after our comfortable in the end 2-0 victory as we take that advantage back home next Thursday as we look to gain ourselves a quarter-final spot in the Europa Conference League. But as I said, attention's turned back to the Premier League, a home game, a game against Aston Villa. And Mike, a game we should be winning. How are you?
Yeah, good, Jake. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at
But
all.
yeah, it is a game we should be winning, but it's also another, everyone's calling it, it's another do or die day game for David Moyes. And he's had 3 of them, and he's come out, well, he's had 2 at least, and he's come out of those 2 pretty well. So let's hope he comes out of this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, just sort of looking at it, and the first half an hour was far from convincing, as was I thought the second half last night over in London. I thought we let them in a little bit unnecessarily towards the end. They had a couple of chances where I think things could have gone differently. And overall, it's definitely not an inspiring performance that we all wanted to see, but it was sort of more about getting that result, and that's exactly what we did. And we can put that to the side until next Thursday now. But this is just absolutely massive, and many people are saying that the actual losers of the El Sakiko versus Everton was probably us in the end, and it's another one of them scenarios again where I'm seeing people say if it means to get rid of him, I wouldn't mind losing, because the only way we're going currently is not looking good. And if he can't pull something out of the bag tomorrow, then he's got to go.
Yeah, I think it needs a performance that we can get behind. I don't, the Forest game, we had a good 20 minutes, didn't we? I mean, we banged 3 goals in 20 minutes or 4 goals. And I mean, it was still not a brilliant performance. We haven't seen a good performance for 90 minutes all season, full stop. I mean, even some of the European games where we're playing a lot lesser team, let's face it, what we ranked 96 places higher than this team we played. The team we played last night, we're expected to win. Okay, yeah, you still got to beat these teams, and you've got to go out there in difficult conditions or different conditions and beat these teams. But I just haven't seen a real convincing performance for a long, long time now.
No. And that's the worrying thing about it. And the way we look at it is that we'll probably, and we can probably all predict what's sort of going to happen. We might have a couple of good moments in the first 3 minutes. We'll then sit back and let Aston Villa come on and sort of dictate the rest of the first half. Maybe get a goal, maybe not. And second half, maybe bring on a sub on a 70th minute, expecting to change the game.
Yeah, we can all read into it. We all know what's going to happen, don't we, before we start? But wouldn't it be nice shock if we just got out of the blocks and played with a bit of confidence and got ourselves up the pitch? We're just sitting too deep. Even against a team like that last night, we're still not. We're looking dangerous because of the quality of player we had against a team like that, and we scored goals in important moments. And they had 14 corners, and really, let's face it, didn't look like scoring from any of them, did they? We did. Yeah. Well, a couple of good deliveries in the box.
Yeah.
One where Areola and Orgerd just got mixed up.
Flapped it a bit, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But at 14 corners, you're expected to, to put a couple of decent ones in it or not defend them brilliantly. Yeah. It was a good result. It was a job done. But still not a brilliant performance.
No, that was the sort of thing that we've got to take out of it, is that we got we got the result as we needed, but the performance was still, lacking there. And after half an hour, I was sat there thinking, we're going to have to pull something out of the bag here, because let's be honest, we were, we weren't being dominated, but as League One side were having the better chances than us in the first half an hour of a game where we just didn't really look like we wanted to play football at all. We just sort of and there was no movement. I was sat there in disbelief. I suppose that's not really the case anymore, is it? Honestly thinking, like we're not moving. And then you know, Ben Rama brings up a good ball, and Antonio somehow puts that in, and then's given too much space, and the game's dead. Then you know, but it's just it is. I think it was personally the fine margins of the quality that got us over the line, and that's definitely not going to be enough. We're going to have to play so much better if we're going to beat Villa, and that's the worrying thing about it on Sunday. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Hello to everybody. Terry, hope you are well, my man, Mandy. We know the starting 11, Jake. So does Villa. Let's just hope that predictability can be slashed a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? Frema, hope you are well. Mandy says Ings, Paqueta, Benny, Bowen, Rice, Agurd, and Zuma with Emerson and Johnson. Norman, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Zuma back was a big boost, as was Cornet, I thought, Mike, to take out of it.
Yeah, I think the positives I can take from that is Zuma had a decent game. Okay, he nearly fell over the ball once and gave it away, which would have been a nightmare for him, because other than that, he was pretty solid. He cleared everything out of the box. He looked pretty tidy, but Cornet came on, and I know it was only 10 minutes, but he did more in 10 minutes than a lot of our players did in 90, that is for sure.
Yeah.
It was the wrong way round, wasn't it? Really, what Paqueta putting Cornet in. I mean,
yeah,
Paqueta's not renowned for his pace, and he was. They were catching him up, and he just.
Mike, you could
panicked.
have gone faster and put that in.
Yeah, he's not quick, is he? I mean, it's just a shame it didn't fall to the likes of Bowen or, you know, obviously Cornet. They would have probably been in. Even Scamacca would have had more pace than that, you know. So, but hey, you know, there was little flashes there I've seen from him where he could be a useful player to bring on for 20 minutes at the end for sure.
Yeah. Let's see who else we have got in the chat. Terry says, right, so here's his explanation for his new nickname, Greg. I thought I was out for lunch with clients today, but they scrubbed, and I had to make do with Greg's pizza and coffee, hence my new nickname. It was very enjoyable for you, Terry, wasn't it? Very, very Sharky
I'm
says,
partial to Greg, so I must say, Jake, partial to Greg.
well, Terry, I don't think quite holds the same viewpoint as you. We'll get to that comment in a minute. Sharky says, I've never seen a team with so many corners, and they kept putting a stat up on BT, like another corner, another 2 corners, like 8, 9, 14 corners.
14, unbelievable.
Usual suspect. Hope you are well, my friend. Everybody talking about the Gregsness. Don't bother, Mandy, says Terry. Happy Friday indeed. Dad says, oh really, Terry did not tell Jake, you know how sarcastic he is. Exactly. Zach, hope you're well as well, mate. So, you know, a Villa side coming to the London stadiums, you know, they're a mixed bag, aren't they, Aston Villa? I think they're probably the first team that are solidly out of the relegation battle when you look at it. Currently sat 11th on 34 points. That's how far out the relegation battle does go. But they have a clear buffer between them and Palace, who are sat in 12th. There is a 7-point gap between those sides as they look to try and get into the top 10 and overtake Chelsea, who they're on the same amount of points of, and get close to Brentford and Brighton up there as well. They're a funny old side, Villa, aren't they, Mike?
Yeah, they are. But I mean, they probably look at us as a bogey team because I think we got a really good record against them, especially recently. I can't remember the last time they beat us, which is, what did I say that for? But yeah, joking aside, we've got a pretty good record against them. I've seen them a couple of times this year. They improved, didn't they? They sacked their manager, and that worked. And this guy's got them going, which I always thought he was a half decent manager. And yeah, like you say, they are safe. You know, they've probably got enough points now to stay up.
Probably.
So, you know, they probably want one more win and a couple of draws, and they got enough points to stay up. Exactly. So they've got no pressure on them, but also they want to be looking up, like you said, Jake, and they want to be catching teams above them. So they've got, you know, incentive to go and get points.
For sure. And I think they're a side that have got a lot of individual talent there that sometimes doesn't come together, and that's what we sort of, we speak to Josh every week on the Roundup show, and it's a very mixed bag. They sort of win one, lose one, and it sort of works out like that. They're good performance, bad performance, for a side like that. They've got some excellent talent there and some excellent pace, which worries me, from various different outlets which they could exploit. But yeah, they are pretty much a bogey team because we seem to beat them every single time. I think the last negative result was a draw back when that actually kept them up when nobody was allowed in the ground a couple of years ago. But yeah, last time against Aston Villa, of course, Pablo Fornals was the fluky goal. That was the last time we won a Premier League match away from home. And and before that, the last game at London Stadium, of course, was when Andrei Yarmolenko put that into the back of net. Was it? I think it was. Was it the Villa game? Yeah, I think so. Which was incredibly emotional for a sort of a very touching day. And hopefully West Ham can just pull something out of the bag against a side we like to beat. But don't put a bet on it, is what I'd say. Zach says a team that we like to beat. For once, that's until after Sunday. We have lost. They're a side that do worry me because when they turn up, they do turn up because they've got some very good players there. And if we play like we did Thursday night, then it could be curtains, Mike.
Yeah, I think haven't they got their best player missing though?
Oh, have they? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think I was reading earlier today that I forget his name now, but he looks like he's out for the game.
Oh, right. That could be a positive then.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You think Ings would want to have a point to prove as well against them, so I think there's a few pluses for us. Our good ruck against them. Yeah, that's a few pluses for us. Yeah, we got to improve from how we played last night. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Team's gonna change a little bit, but I think we all know we could just about guess at least 10 of the 11 players he's going to pick for Sunday's game.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's just the predictable nature of it that is just frustrating for us all, and we've got so many elements there that they're just not working at the moment, and we've got a striker that's turned into the new Sebastian Haller up front in Gianluca Scamacca. He did himself absolutely no favors last night, and I will be quite critical of him because I did want him to start and I did want him to put in a good performance, but there's no denying he was crap when he came on. There's no other way of putting it. I thought, and to be fair, him and Paqueta, when they both came on, I didn't think they were at all good, and that almost sort of backs up why Moyes didn't start him, because there's obviously something's gone on there, and I said it for a few weeks, because he didn't hold anything up, he didn't move, he looked lazy. He was shocking, Mike.
Yeah, to be honest, everyone's calling for him to play, but we don't watch him in training every week, do we? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We're not there. We don't see what he's putting in training. We're not seeing how sharp he's looking or not sharp he's looking. I mean, he looked a bit lethargic. Okay, fair dues. He's been out for a while, so I don't want to hammer the guy badly. But at least look like he's, trying to put a bit more effort in. I know he went over and he shoved over a couple of defenders and put himself about a couple of times, but yeah, I mean, he needs match practice, doesn't he? And I thought that game last night would have been ideal for him to get a bit of sharpness. There's nothing like playing games. You can run and you can train hard, but there's nothing like getting out there on the pitch and getting your match sharpness back. So that was an opportunity for him to do that. Especially Antonio picked a couple of knocks up quite early on. So
yeah,
once he got those 2 goals, I think he should have took him straight off then, because I think their impacts, they weren't strains, they weren't stresses. I think they're impact knocks, but get the guy off, get some ice on it, get him off and get his feet up,
Yeah, I just hope as well that last one that sort of saw him hobbling off, and hope that's not at all bad. I would expect Ings to start up front, and he'll probably do the same thing where he'll start Ings up front on his own, and for the whole 45 minutes there won't be anyone within 30 yards. He may have 2 touches that the defenders come and sweep up, and he'll be frustrated. We'll all be frustrated, and Moyes will come out up after the game and say, well, we signed Ings to score goals, and that's not what he's doing. It's like I'm Mystic Meg. It's like I can, see what's going to happen in the future, honestly. But let's see what the rest of you lot are saying in the chat. I'm going to scroll up on some of these comments then and see what all of you lot are saying. Here we go. Garrett, evening, I'm going and I'm dreading it. I'm not. I've got exams next week, so I've took one for the team. Dad's going, but I am not. Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Jolly good. I'll be here devoted to you guys in between doing some revision for a build up and live reaction. Will I watch it? Stream dependent and patience dependent as well, I think, depending on how it's going. I'd much rather sit here and do some English language, to be honest, if we play like we did last week, but but we'll see. Terry says we lost 5-0 to Villa in the FA Cup in 1913. The omens aren't good. Well, Terry, you saw that. So
Terry.
Were you in the stand, Terry? Usual says Usual says really need an improvement after that Brighton debacle. Yeah, that's one way of putting it, mate, for sure. Sharky says I'm not sure about this game Sunday. I don't see us beating them, if I'm honest, and I don't blame you whatsoever, mate. Zach says has got an option of going to the match on Sunday, but do I really want to waste my time, or will it be a lucky charm? Get yourself there, mate. Support the team. Get yourself there. Absolute no-brainer. Here he comes. Look, Chris Moyes in asking for a friend. Should we just have a little look now? See, you've been gloating and all that. You've been points bonus. You did quite well. You've dropped like a stone, Chris, and now your neck to look down doesn't need to be as stiff now because there's only a point in it, and it might come down to West Ham securing safety at King Power. We've done it once before, and it looks like we might have to do it again. Of course, Noble with that goal in the sun. It all resembles what's going to happen at the end of May. Got to support the lads indeed. Oh, is it Kamara who's got injured? That's a massive blow for them.
That's it.
Massive blow. One thing we haven't discussed that Mandy mentions here is we are back to playing Thursday, Sunday, the same schedule that killed us before. Only now we need to win to survive. Exactly. And Sean mentioned this to me earlier last night. Is that Moyes took the whole squad out there, and do you think that's probably a mistake in where? Europe took an absolute priority last year. He's took the same sort of squad and he's took the same sort of attitude out there this time. But this time we've got the factor of staring down the barrel of relegation. That just adds another thing to it, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I think it was handy to get Zuma to get him a game.
Yeah.
It was useful for that. If he wasn't going to bring Ings on, I don't see the point in taking him, really. There's a couple of others he could have also left at home, I think, to have a rest. But the ones I'm talking about are people like Rice, and he wants to play every game. That lad wants to play every single game. Now, if he goes in the summer and he goes to someone like Man City, he's not going to play every game. So, I mean, honestly, I think there was about 5 players he could have left at home, and we could have still won that game easily. Give them a rest, but they want to play.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Footballers want to play games. Honestly, they want to play every game. And also we needed a bit of a confidence boost. I don't think it was a brilliant confidence boost. If we'd have won 4-0, it would have been.
Yeah.
It could have happened quite easily if that ball hadn't hit the inside of the post. And to be fair to Antonio, it would have been the perfect hat trick. Left foot, right foot header. And I think if that had gone in, probably the floodgates could have opened and we could have scored a couple more.
Yeah, for sure. Luke says here, is Cornet injured yet? I tell you what, it was a breath of fresh air seeing him. It was an absolute breath of fresh air, a complete and utter new signing, and
a new song.
Yeah. Terry says Moyes is in for life, according to Brady and Sullivan. Don't get me started. I will be reacting to that dependent on the result on Sunday, and I may get a little bit more agitated than I did on my reaction to the one last time. That got 5k views, so I'm expecting 10k views on that one. I'm only joking now. In all seriousness, that's baffled me and a lot of West Ham fans, and I will be revisiting that comment after the game, or obviously dependent on what happens on Sunday. Brendan Rodgers to West Ham, Moyes to Leicester. I think we're just best keeping it how it is, to be honest. That's not really changing too much, is it? That's not very nice, Peter. Good evening, Jake and Mike. I think show him some respect. That's not very nice at all. No. Mike, don't take it. No. Don't take it.
I'm not.
No. Exactly. Look at him. He's absolutely distraught. Luke says Scamacca makes my attitude look almost bright and breezy. To be fair, at least Rodgers has won a trophy. At least he has. Gary says when you have class players come in, Moyes ain't the manager they want to work with, so they will all want out. And the interesting thing now is if we do sack Moyes, will we see, a little bit more effort from players like Scamacca? I don't know. Absolutely not. Go on, Mike.
Scott Parker, yeah, right. So.
We don't want that cardigan fraud anywhere near us.
Definitely not. Mate, I don't know. I think Scamacca's a little bit like Haller. He's one of these guys who he's got his shoulders slumped naturally. That's just the way they are. And it just don't give off good vibes, It don't give off positive vibes. And I think that's just the sort of player he is. When he scores goals, he sort of just doesn't really celebrate a lot, does he? And that was exactly the same as Haller. It was almost like, yeah, I score goals because that's what I do, sort of thing. Well, you don't, Yeah. you don't all the time, So I just think that's how he is, full stop. I don't think he changes with another manager.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I may be totally wrong, but he's also one I could see that goes off to Ajax or something like that Haller does, and bang goes in galore. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Really
exactly.
Could. He'll go, well, is it Melander's interested in him? He'll probably go there and bang goes galore.
Yeah. For sure.
If he goes.
Oh yeah, I think that's it. Bang on. Let's have a look here. Peter says, I doubt we will get a striker with a great attitude and one who scores plenty of goals for the rest of my lifetime. Luke says the fact Rodgers has a massive portrait of himself in his house says it all. Scott Parker, good. Scott Parker, good player, bad manager. Let's have a look. Chris says, if we are safe, I'd give you the win instead, Jake. Oh, that's very nice of you, Chris. That is very nice of you. Oh, dear. Let's have a look here. Usual suspect says, same as Lampard and Gerrard, good players don't always make it as managers. Yeah, I agree. More of these comments then. Kent says, massive game Sunday, must win, given the 3-week break, not confident. Yeah, exactly. And if we go into that break now after this Europe game, which we're now expected to win, I think this is our last Premier League game for up until, I think it's the 2nd of April. So let's please just end this sort of period on a bit of a high. It's not going on a whimper, so we're all, miserable for the next month. And yeah, that's just what we've got to try and do, Mike.
Yeah, we need points. We need a positive performance so that, it can lift the fans. And I think the fans are a big thing Sunday. I really do. As much as we're all disgruntled, we got to get there and we got to try and be the 12th man. It is difficult. I know with what's happening around us, but I just think we got to get there and hopefully, we need to see something back from the pitch to give us a bit of a lift. It's it's a two-way thing, but I think we need to get there and we need to lift. We need to lift the place and we need to, get them on the front foot. We need to, like Moyes' tactics. Yeah, we know they're defensive and they're boring and whatever, but it's down to those players on the pitch to roll at their sleeves and go, right, let's go for it. Let's step out of here with the ball. Let's have a positive forward pass. Let's go and stick a ball in the box.
Yeah.
Like stuff it, if I'm going to get a bollocking for getting the ball in when I should have turned around and passed it back 50 yards. Like they can also take some of that responsibility on themselves. And that's what I want to see.
Yeah. For sure. Terry. Terry says, I was in the ballot to not get Ashes tickets. Fortunately for me, I was successful. Well, yeah, but it's your birthday in 5 days, Ter. And I'm going to tell you now that your birthday surprise is you're coming with me to the Ashes. Terry, pack your bag. I'm coming. I'm going to be in the front of the car. It's going to be just me and you, right? I'm going to have the luxury of sitting in the front of hashtag not my car. And we're going to get to Lord's, 5th day, final test. I know it's risky because things might already be sorted, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I've got my ticket. Now you've got your ticket. Leave a like on the stream for your thing to say. Drop a like, as Zach poignantly says there. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've had just shy of 400 subscribers over the last 28 days, according to YouTube analytics. So everybody wants to come over. So if you haven't already, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Greatly helps the channel out. And, you know, last time I checked, we were on the road to 4K. We're now on the road to 5K. We are approaching 4,200, so we are well on the road to smashing that. Hopefully by the end of the season, let's get to 5K. Why not? A bit ambitious, but that's what Moyes isn't. So somebody's got to be. That was quite good for me. That was quite good for me.
It was very good, Jake. It was very good. Come and join us.
I'm on fire. And also, it's the last 7 days that you are availably let me start again. It's the last 7 days of our discount code over on Manscaped, West Ham Official 20. Go and check them out. Link in the description for all of your men's grooming products. We've got the box down there. You've got the bag. You've got the Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker, all of your above and below the waist grooming. Please check out Manscaped and please use the discount code West Ham Official 20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. And it greatly helps the channel out. Try saying that in one breath. But yeah, if you can, please help out the channel, and yeah, that will help us out massively. SRM Carver and Son as well, our long-term sponsors, as always. Check them out, link in the description as well. Everybody keep your comments coming in, maybe lob some predictions in there as we'll start to think about those as well. Lawrence, hope you are well. Jose Mourinho, could you imagine Mourinho coming to West Ham? More chance of Big Sam.
No.
Also, as well, it is DT38 day over at West Ham on Sunday, so we'll have some coverage of that, of course. And yeah, just kudos to West Ham, raising some more awareness, of course, for the very, for the very good charity that is DT38. So yeah, hopefully they can put in a good performance on the pitch, and some key awareness can be raised for testicular cancer and DT38 over at London Stadium on Sunday. Peter says an update on injuries picked up last night. Moyes has said that Downs opened up his ankle, so requires a couple of stitches. In terms of Antonio, he's kept that to himself, and I think with Soufal, it's sort of healing, he said. So I wouldn't expect him back, and maybe Corney on the bench again, but not too many more injury news or injury coming back that we're too far away from. So nearly a pretty much full fit squad we're expecting, Mike.
Yeah, pretty much so. Shame about Soufal because I thought he was playing well.
Yeah.
Kira, yeah, I don't know. He was not terrible. He's had a few games this year where I thought, well, you know, he's been just all at sea. But the last few games he's played, he's done a reasonable job. Let's put it like that. But yeah, for me, you know, Johnson, he had a screaming nightmare against Brighton, and yeah, I think he needs to be eased back into the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. We've got to, and we've got to be smart with these. We've done it in the past too many times, rushed these players back in, and they've got injured once again. So we've just got to, you know, just do it properly, and try and get back in there, and get these players properly fit and properly ready to play again. Target Mings, he is terrible. Finn, thank you very much for joining us. Come on, you Irons. Kenta Skamaka is a class act. Always kills strikers because he can't work with quality technicians. Couldn't with Haller, can't with Luca, and can't tell if Lucas Paqueta is an 8 or a 10 for 6 months. I think it's difficult because I've backed Skamaka, but his showing yesterday was pathetic, you know, no doubt. You know, putting to the side what sort of system we're playing, it was just a complete, a complete refusal to put any effort in. And, that's not what I want to see from any West Ham players 100% going in the summer, in my opinion, after seeing that. And the murmurings that are all a little bit too coincidental for my liking over recent weeks. And I think the only way this is going to end is by him, unfortunately, departing East London in the summer. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he becomes a brilliant success, but I honestly can't see it. I really, really can't. Everybody else having a little chat to each other about a birthday. 3-1 Villa, says Peter, confident as always, my man. 4-0 West Ham, when someone gets a hat trick. I tell you what, I don't know what. Yeah, everybody needs what Lawrence has been drinking, because
Yeah.
I'd love to share the same positivity as you, Lawrence, but I just can't quite find it within me. Sharky says, I'll give up watching football if Big Sam comes back.
Yeah, I would.
Let's scroll down on some of these comments. Finn says, I want to start a big debate. Who's your favourite West Ham player, current and of all time? Quick fire then. Favourite current player and all-time player, Mike?
Oh, for me, the current player is Declan Rice. I mean, he's, for a player that's come through our academy, I think he's as good as anyone. But I was lucky enough to see Bobby Moore put on the shirt for West Ham. Yeah, but for me, Bobby Moore, Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds were my absolute heroes. But if I had to pick one, I think I'd say Bobby Moore, because he's the man that really made me support West Ham, full stop.
Yeah, brilliant. For me, that's going to have to be slightly a little bit more modern. Sorry, Mike. Declan Rice, obviously at the moment, current, and I mean, from my era, there's only one player, and as much as it pains us all to say it, is unfortunately Dimitri Payet. To see him in a West Ham shirt, to see him strutting his stuff as he did, I think one of the best we've ever seen. Pull on the claret and blue, and I think he was that season. I thought he was brilliant. Obviously the way it ended, but my all-time most gifted player I think I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt has to be Dimitri Payet. Boring 1-1. This epitomises West Ham. It says Carlos Sanchez, Alex Crowell, Marco Bogas.
John
I love West Ham,
guys
honestly. Absolutely love it. Favourite all-time player, Billy Bonds. Tell you what, Peter, Skamaka's dad must be due a one-on-one with Moyes in the car park. Now, for a bit of context on this, when Skamaka was at Roma, Skamaka's dad drove through a barrier at the training ground to go and speak to the manager or the owner or something to demand that he got paid more money or left the club or something. Moisey, watch out, mate. I hope you got some security, is what I'm going to say. No love for Masuaku. Poor that lad. Current player, Rice. Former player, Di Canio. King Arthur. There we go. Billy Bonds gave everything, every game. There we go. So as usual. So let's move on to some predictions for the task in hand then. I don't know, so I'm going to let you go first, Mike.
Someone's already put it up there. What I think's going to happen.
What, 4-0?
No, 5-0.
3-1 Villa?
No, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Yeah. Who's going to score for the Hammers?
I think Bowen will. I think he's due one.
Yeah.
I think he's due one. I'd love us to win 2 or 3-0 and the pressure to come off and the stadium to get lifted and be a great atmosphere in there. We haven't had one of them for a long time. I mean, 20 minutes against Forest, it was great. It'd be great to see that sort of thing happening again, but I can't really see that happening. A draw is not really what we want, but it would keep our heads above water. There are other teams that are probably not going to pick up too many points this weekend that are around us. So I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. It's not what I want to happen, obviously, but I can just see it.
I think there's going to be one goal in this, but I can't decide which way, to be honest. I really don't share much confidence after Thursday night. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to predict a West Ham loss, so I'm going to go for the 1-0 win. Typical. I just can't see more than one goal in this. Despite us scoring 4 last weekend, that was a disaster class of how not to defend away from home for Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, and I don't think Villa will do that. I think they are a better side. I will give them credit because on their day they're very good. On their day they can be unbelievably average, but they can be very good on their day equally. So, it depends what side, from each team turns up. But I'm going to go for the 1-0 win with hope and with my fingers crossed. And it's been a sort of poignant couple of days for West Ham. On this day last year was Sevilla away. A massive day for West Ham. Of course, we didn't come out victors in that one, but we did a week later. We'll all wait for that on this day to come out. And of course, on this day this week, 5 years ago, was the infamous Burnley game at home. And many people have said if it doesn't go well on Sunday, then I think it might turn the same way. The flag man's going to put a mask on. He's going to come back with a new name. He's going to come back again. Now, in all seriousness, it's going to something bad will happen on Sunday if it doesn't go to plan, because the fans can see it, which is the most important thing. Well, it's not to us, we can all see it. The board quite clearly can't see it because Karen Brady doesn't work under a fire and rehire system. Okay, love. And David Moyes clearly can't see it as well. So I'm holding hope. Not much of it, but you never know. Football is a funny old game. Back 5 on Sunday. No, we're having a back 8. Back 10. Ultra defensive. Utterly beautiful. Only at West Ham, eh? We're going down with the European Cup. Send the message around. But crazy times. Final thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, we're all very, very optimistic and worried about this game. I'd like to be optimistic about this game, but we're all worried about it. We all know what sort of game it's going to be. It's going to be cagey. I'd just love to see us get off to a great start. I would. And then, because I think, like I said earlier, I think the fans could make a difference on Sunday. Yeah. But they need a bit of help from the players on the pitch. We will need a bit of help from them to lift us, and then we can lift them. And that's what I just hope is going to happen on Sunday.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Let's just hope that Moyes completely takes off those shackles, lets them play football. And you never know what might happen. Well, I tell you what, if things don't go to plan on Sunday, then the London Stadium may look a little bit like this for what it will look like tomorrow night equally as well. I'm on fire tonight. What is going on? What is going on?
Have you not had a phone call yet, Jake?
Well, I tell you what, whoever's going to take on that role has got a pair of balls, I'll tell you that. But I haven't had the call. The phone's on. There's only 2 people that can sort out this debacle. That is me and Tom Skinner. Get me and Tom Skinner in that studio. We will put the worlds to right, and we'll talk about the football. We'll put the big 6 last, West Ham on first. We'll put all of them lot on last. We'll talk about West Ham for the most. That's exactly what's going to happen. Give me a ring. Give me a ring. And Josh, that's it. Well. Yeah. If Villa win, then no.
No.
But no, me, Tom Skinner, Josh, and maybe Sean if Spurs lose. That's what's going to happen. That's good. 2-2. Well, he's going for some goals, says Luke. There we go. Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Yeah, mate. Enjoyed it.
Have a good day up there if you can on Sunday. We will join you on Sunday, of course, for a pre-match build-up show. Things might be a little bit wild. There'll be no father moderation in the chat. So Terry and Sharky, that is down to you Sunday. And we will join you for a build-up show and what could be a very lively and raw live reaction after the game. One thing I will say is I'm just glad we went to the Amex and I wasn't able to come on here right after the game. Well, I did on West Ham Fan TV, but I just had to take a deep breath before I did. Otherwise, I would have got told off when I got home. But yeah, thank you very much. Come on, you eyes. We'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. Moyes, give us your final words.
Come on, boys. Come out now. This is a game that's going to save my job. Do it for me. Do it for the fans.